Hello, everyone. My name is Mike, and welcome to On the Grind. Well, this week has been crazy. It's been absolutely nuts. Check a friend of mine posted this on his Facebook page the other day. And he put underneath it, he just put a little caption with it that said, look, if you're going to burn those Nikes, why don't you just, instead of burning them, why don't you just give them to homeless people or homeless veterans or something like that? That started a 300 comment thread on his Facebook page. And people on both sides of this were just jerks. It turned into a brawl at times. And I was so angry when I was reading these things, because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, now, say you don't agree with Colin Kaepernick, that you think kneeling during the national anthem is disrespectful. Are you bringing anybody to your side of thinking by being a jerk? Are you? Are you bringing anybody to your way of thinking by just trying to throw some zingers out? No, you're not trying to bring people in. You're just trying to give the finger to the ones that you don't like. You don't like their opinion. You don't like what they're taking a stand against. You don't like what they're doing and how they're doing it. And Colin Kaepernick, if you do believe in what he's doing, it's the same thing. If you're being a jerk, then nobody's going to listen to you except the people that are already on your side. So you're not bringing anybody to the cause. You're not bringing anybody to the cause. And what bothers me so much is people sit there and they start calling people names like ignorant and stupid and you're just so uninformed and you just don't know what you're talking about and you're this and you're that. And I'm just sitting back going, you know something? You didn't talk them into anything. All you did was act like a jerk. That's all you did. And I'm sitting there looking at this thread and I'm sitting there thinking, this is what happens when you post something like that and you're on this thread that multiple people are commenting on. Understand that when you post something, you're not just posting something to the person you think that you're arguing with. There are hundreds of people who are just scrolling through and looking at what you're doing. And you probably just pushed hundreds of people away from your cause. You just pushed them away from your cause, no matter which one that is. The thing that bothers me so much is when you're sitting there, when people who support Colin Kaepernick, you mean to tell me you can't empathize with military families who have lost people or people who have been disabled because they've been fighting for this country? You can't understand why people would be offended by that. You can't show them any empathy at all. And for you people who don't agree with Colin Kaepernick, when you don't agree with him kneeling for the national anthem, you can't sit back and say, you know something, what he's kneeling for it means something to him, and it means something to a lot of people, that there's people out there whose lives have been changed by what he's kneeling for. Is there no empathy for anyone anymore? Is it just you and your side and only your side and nobody else matters? We can't sit there and see empathy in anything if we don't agree with it. Somebody said something and all it is just to sit there and get a zinger back on somebody. And I know there's funny little posts that people do. Don't get me wrong. I know there's funny little posts that people do and it takes a shot at something and they're just ha ha ha. They think it's, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you're deliberately getting involved in these type of fighting things, thinking that you're pushing a cause. You're not pushing a cause. Even the Bible talks about this. Go read Titus chapter 3. And see what it says about getting into an argument that you know is not going to profit you anything. There are people out there who go, you know something? I believe in what Colin Kaepernick's doing. I believe in his cause. I just don't like what he's doing to draw attention to the cause. And there's people on both sides. There's all kinds of different ideas about this. So you can't be so polarized that you can't try to understand the other side. And it bothers me because it always comes up like kids on a playground. Well, he started it. I'm like, really? And I love this one. I love it. Well, man, I got to keep it 100. I got to keep it it's just the truth. They're just trying to tell the truth. Well, can I tell the truth? You're being jerks. I remember the 80s. Back in the 80s, me and a friend of mine, a black friend of mine, we were tight, man. And I remember getting heckled so bad. I remember being called names because I hung around black people so much. I remember there were people in my own family that didn't like me hanging around black people. And I remember feeling like I'm trying to take a stand. And I remember just being involved in all this racism and stuff. And now I have black friends now that I don't hear the same words I heard back then. And I feel like we made so much progress. And then all of a sudden, everybody started taking all these steps backwards, man. I feel like, I'm not saying that we, changed, I'm not saying we made everything perfect. I'm not saying that, but we started to be more accepting. We started to see some of these, these injustices and things. I felt like things were starting to get better. And now I feel like we're right back where we started. And it hurts, man. It hurts. Because at one time, I was actually proud of some of the stuff I had done. I was like, man, I stood up for this. Me and this black friend of mine, we stood up for these things, man. We stood up for equality. We stood up for those things. And now I feel like it did nothing but take a million steps backwards, like it didn't even matter. Man, that was a little too much.